I'm Jenna LaGrange, and this is Embracing the Chaos. What is up, you guys, and welcome to episode number 5. So the theme for today's episode is going to be balance is a myth. And I'm done pretending that I'm trying to chase that balance sort of lifestyle. Because, guys, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, I'm a fighter, I'm full-time Army, part-time police officer, photographer in my spare time, a wife, and honestly, I've just lived through the chaos enough to know that life doesn't always fit into a pretty neat little box. Some days I'm killing it, I'm on top of everything, and other days I barely remember to eat. I don't respond to messages, and I'd be a chicken with my head cut off for the most part. And both are completely fine. That's the amazing part. With accepting that life is not going to be balanced, life is not perfect, and that life is chaos, and that we just thrive in that. So today, what I want to talk about is why balance is not my goal, and why chasing for that balance, that perfect life that fits into this perfect little box, actually put me into burnout, and I think triggered a lot of the health issues that I currently deal with. So we're going to go over kind of what I focus on instead, how I align my priorities, and what I choose to show up for, and why those things are important to me. So just so you know, this episode is not going to be 5 tips for a work-life balance kind of episode. It's not going to be, oh, do these 5 things and your life is going to align perfectly. This podcast is going to be about life, like real life, in that life is not perfect. And it's not going to always fit into this neat, perfect little box. What matters is how we respond to that chaos, how we show up for our family and the things that matter. So how did I get to this mindset of balance is a myth? We're going to go back to pre-kids, my life before then. Some of the childhood things I experienced had ingrained a super neat freak, everything has to be perfect type of mindset. And the military did not assist me in that at all. My need for perfectionism in the way that my house looked, showing up super early for any event or appointment or anything it may be, it just pushed this need for perfectionism, because if I had control over every aspect of my life, then nothing could go wrong. So I really implemented that in every aspect of my life for quite some time. And then I had kids, and my ideas of perfectionism changed drastically. My kids really forced me to slow down and reevaluate my life, because having a perfectly clean house, showing up on time is almost nearly impossible with kids. Things of that nature are just not as plausible. And when I get up at 5 a.m. to be to work, I work till 3 p.m. or later, and then go directly to the gym after I pick up my kids, and then I'm at the gym until 9 o'clock at night. There's certain things in there that I'm going to have to let go. So I've been pushing myself so hard for so long in every aspect of my life. because I felt like I had to accomplish it all. I had to find that balance. I had to be able to get the house clean. I needed to be able to make all my meals, meal prep, dinners, lunches, breakfasts, all that stuff for my family, making sure my dogs are good to go, making sure the gym is running right, trying to handle all of the business side of things, plus handling all the things at work that I was working on at the time, and then trying to get into more with the photography. And I always feel like I can do more, and that has ultimately become a problem. It's a problem for me, and it's starting to reflect heavily in my health. I'm dealing with some unknown health issues. My last appointment, I was dubbed a medical mystery. It has not been a fun road, but a key component that keeps popping up throughout my journals that I'm keeping, any talks I have doing this podcast. I realized that stress of trying to find that balance and being perfect in every aspect of my life is slowly killing my body. And it's ultimately forced me to slow down and reevaluate my life and what's important to me and what I truly want to show up for, because the time that I have to give is just not what it used to be. And it's becoming less and less the longer I go with this unknown medical journey that I'm on, until they can figure out what's going on and how I can fix it. So I've got to find other ways to control my life and protect my time. And that's, to me, why balance is honestly a myth. And chaos is where I thrive the most. Now, I do try to find balance or control, is what I'm going to consider it, in my schedule. Like, I set my schedule, what I allow myself to do in a certain day, because if I don't, then I will try to do it all. And that isn't working. That isn't working for me. That's not working for my family. And not only is it physically affecting me, but it's hurting my family, because I get home and I just become a couch potato. I'm just done. I have nothing to give to my family. And that to me is a problem, because my family is what matters most. And they are why I am pushing so hard in all aspects of my life to keep moving forward, to keep doing more, because I always feel like I can do more to help support my family in some way, or be there, show up for my family in some way. And I need to understand that I do have a husband and family that are there to support me, and that I can rely on them for things. It's just me relinquishing some of that control is not something I'm great at. And it is something that I struggle with. And I do need, from time to time, Jack, for example, to push me to relinquish some of that control, to just kind of step up and handle some of the things that I'm trying to handle without saying, I need you to do this type thing. And he does great when he realizes that I'm trying to take on too much at one time. So the health issues were really where my aha moment, as I'll call it, came into play. It hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was going 200% all the time, push, 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 push. These health problems came into play, and it knocked me straight on my ass, to the point I struggled to get out of bed, to the point I can't open my bedroom door in the morning to leave my bedroom to get ready for work, where I have to wake Jack up and ask him to open up the door. It's been hard mentally to, one, have to rely on others for help, but two, very eye-opening in how hard I was pushing and how much of myself I'm giving to everybody else but myself and my family, and why I've become very protective of my time. So how have I kind of figured out balance? So I do have a lot on my plate with my full-time job, with the gym, with the photography stuff, being a mom, doing the part-time police officer stuff, it is a lot. And I do use Google Calendar to track everything. I got this cool electronic calendar that hangs up in our kitchen that everybody can see so they can kind of see where we're at. It also helps me track my bills because if I didn't put them in there, I wouldn't pay them. Let's be honest. So, utilizing things like that to evaluate my schedule and my day has been extremely eye-opening because I do overbook myself and I do push myself um, a lot. And I still do it even though I'm struggling with some health stuff. I still do it. Like, for example, right now, I don't feel good. I straight up do not feel good. What I experience day to day is like a flu or cold, those body aches. You're miserable, you don't want to do anything, and you're just struggling with life. That is how I feel every day. And right now, as I'm recording this podcast, I'm currently working part time at the police department. Luckily enough, it's a small enough town, and besides being a ghost hunter and dealing with raccoons, my life isn't too crazy out there. So I am double dipping at the moment, recording this podcast while working in the PD to try to open up more time to spend with my family. And another thing I'm currently dabbling in is a item called a brick. It's something I touch my phone to and then it locks down all the apps that I would like it to lock down because I can set which ones it does lock, which ones it doesn't. I currently have it set to lock down pretty much every app on my phone, but like 40 something of them, most of them dealing with business, my email, and things like that. And it's actually a pretty cool little device because when I do try to click on an app that is actually locked, I get a note that says you've turned off Facebook, your phone is currently bricked. To access this, you have to tap brick. And then at the bottom, what I love the most, it says back to what matters. And that's my reminder to get back to what matters to me, and that's spending time with my family or spending time in my own mental space, whether that's reading, meditating, just watching trash TV, whatever it may be, just my reminder to get back to me and not be doom scrolling. And I think today's world, a lot of us spend a lot more time on our phones than we actually realize. And that, for me, was eye-opening looking at my screen time on my iPhone and how much time I was actually just on my phone. And it was disappointing because that much time of my life I'm literally wasting on this piece of equipment when there's actually like real world, real life things I could be experiencing. I could be out there touching grass, making myself feel better, getting out in the sun. So, being more protective of my time when it comes to my phone, when it comes to my other hobbies that I do, the part-time jobs that I do, anything outside of the gym, my family, my full-time job, like those things require me to show up every day. And I do show up every day for those things. And I've got them in my calendar. You need to do this, you need to do this. And I even have block time cut out to spend time with my kids because during the week I don't get a whole lot of time to do that, and I need to be better about the little time that I do have with them. And that's why I thrive in the chaos, and every day is sort of a mystery in the sense of I know I've got to go to work, I know I've got the gym, but what I do afterwards in that little brick of time that I have is my chaos. That is where I thrive. That is where I get to recharge from the day, whether it's just sitting on the couch, being a couch potato, watching TV, whether it's hanging out with my kids, whatever it may be that brings me peace. Because some days that might be me cleaning up the kitchen, me cleaning up the yard, me doing those things that I do have to put on the back burner because they're not necessarily a priority in my schedule, but it does make me feel good to come down in the morning and the kitchen is clean, or to be proud of the yard that I have. I feel so old at old now, like thinking about that having a cleaned up yard makes me excited, or having a cleaned up kitchen makes me excited, or a cleaned up laundry room, or going through the stuff in my house and just throwing everything away. How refreshing that feels. It's crazy how adulting happens without you actually realizing it. Because 10 years ago, none of that would have really excited me the way that it does now. But those things are also not a priority. My house is trashed. I need a 3 days notice plus to get my home in any sort of fashion to have people over, because I do have two German Shepherds. They are longer haired dogs and they shed all year. There is no like, oh, this is their shedding. No, they shed all year round. And if I don't vacuum at least 2, 3 times a day, there's dog hair. There just is. So you're going to enter my house and it's going to smell like wet dog. And there's going to be toys everywhere. And God knows what else is going to be going on in my home at any given time. And that is just, it is straight chaos if you were to just show up at random at my home. And that's okay. And that's one of those things that I've had to let go of. That I'm not going to have this perfectly clean house. I'm not always going to be on top of my schedule. I am not going to be on time. It's furthest thing on my list is to be on time. And it does drive that military side of my life a little crazy because they do preach being early, at least 15 minutes early, and I do not do that. So it does like irk me just a little bit from time to time. But then I take a look at my kids and I realize, you know what, being a little bit late to help them put their shoes on, or patiently wait for them to put their shoes on, was absolutely worth it. And this is going to sound so silly. Been watching a lot of Bluey lately with my children, and one of the episodes recently, it was the mom getting upset because Bluey was running inside and outside the house, getting water everywhere and just making a mess, and she just didn't want it to happen. But then she stopped and watched what Bluey was actually doing and the happiness that it was bringing Bluey at the time. And I've caught myself doing the same thing with my own kids, realizing like I'm in such a hurry, I need to get to this place, but then to sit there and watch them learn to either tie their shoes, put their shoes on the right feet, get dressed themselves. I do allow them to pick out their own outfits. Like, to see their creative sides come out is worth that extra time and worth the little chaos that it might bring. To me, that makes understanding that I will never have balance in my life completely worth it. Just the little bits of happiness that not only does it bring myself, but to see it in my children as well. Balance is something that I know I will never find, but the chaos doesn't have to be complete chaos. It can be, in a way, organized chaos. I utilize the little tools like the Google calendars, or now the brick, to shut my phone off, and utilizing the people around me to help find a path through that chaos is what I do now. And that's why I really stick to my guns, that balance is honestly a myth, but the chaos is so very, very real. And it is something that we all live, whether we think about it or not. It's just, how do we prioritize our lives? So when you go over to that one's friend's house who's always immaculate and perfect and clean, just know that that to them is their priority, and that there's something else in their life that they just kind of put on the back burner that you wouldn't. So for me, my house is not a priority. It's I don't have bugs and stuff in my house. It is clean to a point, but it's not anywhere near people ready clean, if that makes sense. But the things that matter to me are a priority. So the gym, my kids, my husband, my dogs, those are priorities to me, but the cleanliness of my home is not my number one priority. Is it clean enough for us? Absolutely. Is it organized chaos for us? Absolutely. Do I know where everything's at? 100%. Can Jack find the ketchup in the freaking refrigerator? No, but that's okay. I know where it's at, and I can talk him through how to find it. So for us, our priorities are going to be different than what your priorities are going to be. And I think we need to sometimes take a moment and think about when we see that home on Instagram that's immaculate or that mom that looks so well put together. Just know they're probably not in some other aspect of their life. And that is okay. And that is the point. It is okay to have chaos in your life. It is okay to not be well put together all the time or to be that perfection that you see on social media, because nobody's life is as perfect as they post on social media in real life, and that is okay. So just find your peace in the chaos, prioritize the things that matter to you, and accomplish them. And that is success in everybody's own way. So, with that, you guys, stay loud, stay weird, and always embrace the chaos.